What's up, you guys? I am Extra Eric, and we have so much to talk about from Little Mix's new interview with BuzzFeed, Truth or Wine. The game is simple. All they had to do was answer questions, and they had the options to tell the truth or take a sip of wine if they didn't want to answer it. And as a Little Mix stan, this interview was like peak Little Mix because the girls were so into it and they were spilling all of the tea and they were saying so many different things, but you know what? They left us with so many unanswered questions, and I feel like we need to discuss this. This isn't going to be a normal reaction where I watch it like second by second. It's going to be more of a breakdown where I'm going to go through like big parts of the interview that we need to discuss, and we're going to dive into those topics. I'm still smiling from watching this interview. I watched it twice last night and I just can't believe this is what they're giving us. If you're a mixer like myself, this is why you love Little Mix. These girls were funny, they were hysterical, they were answering all of these questions, they were spilling all the tea. We got so much that we didn't even know we needed and more. We have so much to cover, so let's just dive into the video. As with everything else so far that they've given us during quarantine, we have to talk about their backdrops first because it just kills me. Starting off with Jade in the bottom right, I love that she has the metallic backdrop that they used to film Breakup Song on, like hanging in the background, and I like to think she did it for the super fans like us that are gonna be the ones to notice that. And I love like the completely done up pair, the all white look. It's like simple, but yet stunning, and it's just like so Jade. Up next is Leanne above her. I love that Leanne is just taking this so casual. Her hair is just like up in a bun, and what annoys me more than anything is when there's smudge screens, and it looks like she must have like touched the screen on her computer or whatever she filmed this on, and it's definitely like foggier than all of the other girls, but gotta love it. Jessie in the bottom left kills me because she had bad Wi-Fi connection the entire time, and even though still with the fuzzy screen, you can still see how incredible she looks, and I love that she's still using that same exact backdrop as the Touch acoustic performance, just like Perry is against like that white wall as well. It seems like she's literally in the same room she filmed the Touch acoustic for. Now, one of the best parts about this entire interview is how much tea these girls spilled, and they were so into answering all of the questions, and they just wanted to be funny and have fun, and they did not hold back. Jessie really came out hitting from the start by just dropping the mic and going, saying that Black Magic is her least favorite song to perform, which is like mind-blowing, and that like every time it's in the set list she kind of cringes.
Black Magic.
Yeah, Jess,
really?
You're not down with that one when it's in the set list, are you?
I've never really liked it, if I'm honest.
It just kills me because it's like they're arguably their biggest song of all time, and I would like to think that we are going to leave the Brits' performance of Black Magic and all of the acoustic performances of Black Magic out of this because those are just so epic and iconic. The Black Magic performance from the Brits is legit like a decade-defining moment. That was easily one of their best performances, so even though it may not be her favorite, we're not going to allow any Black Magic slander here.
I feel like Salute a lot of the time. I'm like, oh, Salute again.
Great. I feel like that one.
I do love it. I do love it.
Yeah.
It's such a sick song. But like performing it is, like you say, it's so intense. So maybe it's the choreo a lot of the time.
I do say I have to agree with Leanne saying Salute is one of those songs that she does get tired of performing. Mainly hers were due to it being very intense to perform, but like low-key, I feel like Salute is literally in every single set list. It's always one of the songs that has to be performed, and even though it's incredible, I feel like the amount of times they've been required to perform it over the years because it's been such a hit has just been like a little tired, and like we need to start mixing up the songs there. So like I definitely agree that Salute is one of those songs, but I love that they all were saying that their laziness was part of the reasons what were impacting their favorite and least favorite songs to perform because they're just like so tiring. Like no other artist in the game is going to openly say like, yeah, my songs are so tiring to perform like that. I get lazy sometimes and they're my least favorite. Okay, the next part we're diving into is them being asked if what they think about them being underrated in the States, because this is easily what's going viral with Little Mix in the past like few years, and obviously it's so true that they're the most underrated girl group in the world, especially in the States, who are sleeping on them. But this part really killed me because it had the potential to be like so much bigger, and clearly they're spilling all the tea and we just like didn't get any of it, mainly due to Jessie's bad connection.
Do you think you deserve more love from America?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Does anybody else think Jessie sounds like a Dalek? I can't hear a word she's saying.
This killed me. Even though her connection is so funny throughout the whole thing, it really ruined this question because Jessie started answering and then Perry jumped in about the Wi-Fi, and then that was it. Jessie took the lead answering this question from the start, and then Perry was like commenting about her lack of connection on the Wi-Fi, which then threw the whole question off, and then it went right after the funny parts to like something else. And what sucks is that all they said was like, absolutely, we agree. Of course we agree with that, but like what sucks is that that connection like distracted them somehow and like threw off the vibe, and then like they segued into another question. I feel like there's so much more tea that could have been spilled on that question. I would have loved to have heard like more of their thoughts. I feel like even though there was a hard cut in the editing there, I do think that BuzzFeed would have included like more content if there were more content to this question that was like ruined by the bad connection, you know what I mean? Because obviously they want that too, and we want that, so it would have been there.
Sounds like she's in the. Because I don't have Wi-Fi.
Why don't you have Wi-Fi, babe? Get on the Wi-Fi. Honestly, you sound like an actual robot. It's so funny. You're like, that's all I can hear.
Even though we didn't get all of the tea we wanted, Perry is still like the funniest person in the world. And this is what is so great about this interview, was like the mood they were all in. Because Perry's like, I can't hear you because the Wi-Fi. And then Jesse's like, yeah, I don't have a good connection. And Perry's like, well, babe, get on the Wi-Fi, as if she's not already on it. These girls kill me. And even at this point, when I was watching with my boyfriend in bed last night, he jumped up laughing because he's like, what are they doing? And that's what this interview was. It was just like, there were so many moments where you're just like, nobody else would do this. Like, nobody else is as personable as these girls, and that's what makes it so great. What's nuts is that they have already finished writing the album, which is like crazy to me. I didn't think this whole process was coming so soon. It makes me think the album isn't that far off into the future. So once everything is slowly going back to normal and they can start being in the same room and doing that type of work again, like it seems like we could be getting this album pretty soon. And if it's all that's left to sing, you know, they can like bang that stuff out so quick. Like, these are one take girls. Like, they can bust these songs out in a day.
LM6 is obviously 100% coming, because we are currently writing and recording it. Well, we've already written it, so we were recording it until lockdown happened. And I'm going to have to sip my drink because I can't tell you what the title is, but there is a title.
As I said in my breakup song reaction video, they were using the pride flag a lot in some of like their texts and everything, and I was like, oh, LGBT promo. What if this album is like celebration and party is like our tease? What if they drop it in June during Pride Month and it's like called Pride? They stand the gays more than anybody, and I feel like it would be so epic to drop an album called Pride during Pride Month, because there's so many ways you can take that theme into all the songs and whatnot, and I feel like if anybody is gonna do it and do it well, it's these girls. Even though Jessie didn't spill the tea on this one, what's so funny that none of the girls noticed is that she spilt her wine when she was sipping it on this part.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Okay, so the next topic I want to dive into is how they were asked about what collab they would not agree to doing today that they've done before in the past, but I'm going to hold that off for the next topic because they dove into it even more, and because they're connected and there's lots of points between the two to like identify what they're talking about, we're gonna hold that for their like favorite and least favorite songs. Okay, so the next major topic in the interview, we have to set the record straight, is that they were asked about Fifth Harmony, and they were asked if there was like a rivalry between the groups throughout the years, because obviously they were like two of the biggest girl groups in the world, and also at one point they were on the same label. Every single news outlet is spewing this story out of control, and they are just making it into something that it's not, and they're saying that the girls were threatened by Fifth Harmony, and they always felt this rivalry, and then people in the headlines were just making so much negative attention to the story that just like doesn't make sense, because if you listen to the interview, which clearly they didn't, the girls didn't say any of that.
We always loved them. We never didn't like them as people, but there was a point when we did feel like there was rivalry. Not rivalry, but like, I don't know.
I can't hear a damn thing. Is that just me or is that everyone? I think what she was trying to say, let me translate, see if I've got it and you nod.
Okay.
There wasn't rivalry as such because we loved them all and we did like Fifth Harmony. But do you mean when they came out we would be like, oh no, another girl band?
Yeah.
That kind of vibe. Yeah, I don't think it was ever rivalry because they were so different. I think if they were doing the same stuff we were doing and we were similar, I don't know, but I feel like we never really thought there was rivalry between us.
I don't think it was with the actual girls. I don't think we ever had a problem with the girls. I think it was more just a bit awkward that we were on the same label.
Plus, they were super nice, and they were saying, like, of course there was always that little bit of like tension between the two because the same label, and obviously everybody pits girls against each other in pop music anyway, so the two biggest girl groups are naturally going to have that little bit of rivalry. But they said they loved the girls and it was never anything personal, but they did feel that it was just something that existed and it wasn't like this huge thing. And they were being nice and being honest about it, and people truly are taking this like so far out of context. I would also like to highlight they truly had nothing to be threatened about because Little Mix are truly in a league of their own. Fifth Harmony, of course, had their moments. I'm not bashing them. Reflection was like a fantastic album. Like, they've had their moments, but truly there's a They're very different girl groups. And especially Fifth Harmony in America was much more commercialized and they went for that radio sound. So there's a lot of differences between like what both of the girl groups have to offer. We need to kill this Fifth Harmony stuff now. Stop making this into something big. The media is just jumping on this because they have whatever web goals they want to hit and get page views and clicks on the stories. Don't open these articles. Don't click anything because it's just like these BS headlines are so unnecessary, especially when they have nothing to be threatened about. So previously I said that I was holding off the segment to the next part, which now we're here, and it's that initially they were asked like what collab would they not agree to in Today that they did before in the past, and then later in the interview they were asked like what their favorite and least favorite songs were. Yet again, there was clearly something happening between all of them, mainly Perry and Jade, that was really an indicator of like what it could be.
Yeah.
I don't want to... Oh.
Was there?
I think I know who.
Wait, there's two. There's two.
Oh.
No, there's a definite
actually.
one.
Yeah, one for me.
Is it?
Like- Absolutely not. Like never.
Don't do it.
Don't say it.
Just
Don't say it.
don't do
say
it.
one word. Jade, if I say one word, will you know what I mean? LA.
Yeah.
Right. So we're all okay. Cool.
Have a sip, Jasminda. Have a sip.
Did you say LA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
You know-
thinking of something else.
Oh, really?
Maybe just message in the group chat later.
What's funny is that they only have a handful of features and collaborations to pick from. Like overall, they haven't really done an incredible amount of them, even though it feels like we've gotten a lot in recent years. Perry said her least favorite song had a feature on it and she didn't want to like openly say it because she didn't want to be rude or disrespectful to the person, which is super nice and you do have to respect that. But my biggest clue came from what Leanne said, and Leanne said the feature is what made the song.
I think my favourite is Shout Out, but I'm going to have to sip to the one out because I actually despise one of our songs.
Whoa!
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Jade, I think you'll agree,
Oh
especially
my God, I
now.
know what one.
But I'm going
I
to
know
sip
what
because
Hez,
yeah,
if I say Sonny, does that ring a bell?
yes.
Okay, yeah, I know what one.
So I can't reveal the song because it has a feature and I don't want to seem mean, but the song makes me like
But to be fair, the feature makes the song anyway. She's just...
So the song I think that Perry is referring to that just makes her make that gross face is Oops with Charlie Puth. Because I feel like that song, first off, the face that she makes where it's just like kind of like, I feel like of any song, like that's the one that's going to give you the reaction. But as Leanne said, Charlie Puth is really featured in the song heavily. Like Perry, first off, starts off the song, which is another big indicator. Like she has to lead the song off, which could be a reason she doesn't like it. But Charlie Puth, even though he comes in at the second verse, he's really infused in the verse throughout the whole song because it's kind of like that male-female dynamic singing to each other. So I do think there's something there. And then the whole thing starts about them saying stuff with Jade because obviously there's been all of that stuff flying around about Jade and Charlie Puth. I don't know what it is. I don't know like what the connection is, but there's definitely something there. And just like it was in their Cosmo UK interview, Jessie poked fun at Jade and Charlie Puth like singing during the wedding songs.
Yeah? Do you want to?
Yeah.
What do you want to sing?
Secret love song.
An album song that never made it on tour. Nobody like you.
I love you.
She's going to do it with Charlie Puth.
I'm not.
Also, I don't know if the mixers that are watching or anybody that's watching has seen, but I also interviewed Charlie Puth a few years ago and I asked him immediately about this song. I was like, I'm such a Little Mix stan. I need to know like what was it like working with them? And he said it was like incredible. They were like the nicest people. He had only nice things to say about them. So there's no shade there. But he did dive into why the song came about. So I'm going to play that clip so you can understand more of the background behind the song. You were on their new album Glory Days on the song Oops.
Yeah.
Was that track originally written for 9-Track Mind, or did you go into it writing it for them?
Close. So, Marvin Gaye, which did good in the United States but did exceptionally well in the UK, it was like a #1 record there. Simon Cowell had reached out to my camp and he said that he wanted a record like Marvin Gaye for Little Mix. So I was just like, okay, let's write another Marvin Gaye for Little Mix. And all because of the genius of Simon Cowell.
So I don't know. My guess is that Oops is clearly one of the songs that they don't like, which kills me because I actually really like Oops. Another reason I feel like the girls might not like Oops is because Oops is the only song on Glory Days that has all male co-writers. And I think the song, when you listen to it, it feels that way. I feel like some of the lyrics on the song aren't as like female empowering that fit within the girl's vibe. Like, has her face set, like when you listen to it, it's just kind of like, ugh, like, I accidentally need you, I don't know what to do, oops, baby, I love you. It's like the girl is just sliding back into falling in love with this boy as if she has nothing better to do, as if she doesn't have her own autonomy and her own choices to do what she pleases and to do things for herself. It's just like, it gives me that kind of like 50s vibe. I know it has the 50s doo-wop sound, and I feel like it has that 50s doo-wop like mentality to it, and it just doesn't fit overall with like what the girls do, which is just another reason why I feel like the song could be the choice. Why they don't like it. I feel like there's so many reasons behind why they might not like it. And to end this video on a much lighter note, the last moment I wanted to talk about in the video was when they were asked if they have ever had sex to any of their songs because their personalities just shined through. I love that Jessie immediately threw Leanne under the bus, saying notice, like, it's just this is just another example, as I said before, of why this interview is so perfect.
You'd have sex to notice.
No, no.
Leanne would have sex to beat me.
Oh.
It's just so lighthearted. It's so funny. It's just, you can't watch it and not fall in love with them. I don't give a damn who you are. I feel like overall, this interview is going to turn people into Little Mix fans if they weren't already. And it's a great thing to show other people that might not be as familiar with them, because if you're watching that, especially with the massive audience that BuzzFeed has, it's the perfect video to fall in love with them. Moving forward, it seems like we're really in for it with this next era. They all seem like on top of their game. They seem like such in a great place. They seem like they are just like ready to fucking slay us. And I'm not ready for any of it. And it seems like this new music, LM6, may be coming much sooner than we realize. Hopefully these damn quarantine restrictions can start lifting soon so they can get back into the studio and serve us with exactly what we need. Just this video is so promising for what's to come, and I'm so fucking excited. I cannot wait. God, they are so good. So I want to know, what did you guys think about the video? Do you agree with what I had to say? I want to know. Comment in the video so we can start discussing this further, because we really need, there's just so much to dive into here. And while you're down there, subscribe to my channel, because I will be keeping the Little Mix content rolling through 2020 and beyond, as I already have said before. Until next time,